The iPhone 17 Pro is just 24 hours from launch, and this is the moment where Apple fans start sharpening their credit cards, and those who are tired of seeing the same things from the days of the iPhone 13 start wondering if the iPhone 17 Pro is just another glorified iPhone 16 Pro with the same iterative changes. Speaking of which, this year, Apple is doing a backflip on a feature you guys loved just 2 years ago. Out goes titanium and in comes aluminium. The cameras also get an upgrade, as every rear camera now will be 48 megapixels. Oh, and the front camera, it also gets better, bumping up from 12 megapixels to 24 megapixels. Then there's reverse wireless charging, an anti-reflective coating, and that giant camera bump? Yeah, turns out it's hiding something. So, here's the real question. Are all these changes enough to make you care and upgrade, or should you wait for something significant the following year or the year after? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll have a solid answer. Alright, let's start from the outside and work our way in. At first glance, the obvious change is that bigger camera bump. And yes, part of that is because Apple decided to make all the rear cameras 48 megapixels. But before we get into that, there's something more subtle which a lot of people are missing. See those tiny translucent lines that have been sitting at the top and bottom half of your phones for years? They have quietly been doing all the heavy lifting for your Wi-Fi and cellular connection. On the 17 Pro, that continues, but in a slightly different frame. Leaks suggest Apple is about to wrap that band on the camera bump, the same trick they pulled on the Apple Watch Ultra. Now, does that mean your Wi-Fi suddenly works in that corner of your house where it never works? Who knows? What we know for sure is that bump has something to do with all the rear cameras being 48 megapixels, because for the first time, the telephoto camera isn't stuck at 12 megapixels. It's finally 48 megapixels, and that might mean up to 8 times zoom. The catch? We don't know if it's pure optical magic or Apple's classic optical crop. In less than 24 hours, we'll find out if it's just a recycled trick with some fancy math. In my opinion, if that's the case, it's gonna be a disappointment. Speaking of disappointments, the telephoto camera in low light, let's be real, it's been about as helpful as a torch with dead batteries. But now, with more pixels to play with, this will for sure change, and it's not just the back. The front camera doubles from 12 megapixels to 24 megapixels. Great news if you're into selfies, or should I say terrifying news if you really didn't want to see your skin clearly. Anyway, the camera upgrade that really caught my attention is in the video department. Just imagine 8K at 60 FPS. Sounds great, right? Except that, raise your hand if you've got an 8K display. Exactly. For most people, myself included, it will just downscale to 4K or 1080p. So while it looks great on paper, the market isn't ready for it yet. The real value might be in editing flexibility. Speaking of which, here's where things get really interesting. There's been talks of an all-new camera app built right into iOS 26. Think Blackmagic, Highlight, but backed directly into your iPhone. Now, if you've got iOS 26, you've most likely noticed how the camera app is downscaled compared to how it was on iOS 18. The reason for that? To make it easier for the average user. On the contrary, this app will be for pro users who want advanced features and controls. In the same breath, regular users have longed for a dual recording feature, which is possible with third-party apps, but it would be nice seeing that come straight with the iPhone camera app. Speaking of listening to what users want, let's talk about one of the juiciest whispers around the iPhone 17 Pro: reverse wireless charging. Now, this one's different because it isn't just for photographers or spec nuts. Even the average user can get around it super easy. Imagine your AirPods case dying or your Apple Watch about to tap out. Instead of panicking, just slap them on the back of your iPhone 17 Pro, and just like that, they start juicing up. That would be a game changer, and here's where it gets interesting. That cutout at the back, it doesn't just look like a design quirk. To me, it could be the reason why Apple designed the back of the iPhone in the first place. Now, whether Apple lets us charge other devices or keeps it locked in its ecosystem, iPhone to iPhone, Apple Watch or AirPods, we'll find out tomorrow. But even then, in my opinion, it's one of the most practical upgrades. While on the topic of upgrades, let's talk about the rumored anti-reflective coating. Apple's late to the party, but at this point, I'm pretty sure that's typical Apple behavior. The leaks also point to a brightness bump from 2000 to 3000 nits, the same level we saw in the Apple Watch Ultra. Translation, you'll finally be able to use your iPhone without feeling like you're auditioning for a vampire movie. Now, normally, that kind of jump would drain your battery faster than TikTok drains your time. Once again, here's where we get another twist. The iPhone 17 Pro is rumored to have one of the best batteries of an iPhone ever. Some whispers put it at 5000 mAh, thanks to Apple making the batteries larger. And while on the subject of batteries, there's a possibility of it getting damaged, which may require repair. Good thing, Apple will be using an electrically induced debonding adhesive, which will make the repair process sustainable. Now, just to be clear, this isn't entirely new. We already saw this in the iPhone 16 and 16 Plus. From the outside looking in, all this stuff about the battery sounds really good, but the real question is, will this finally be the iPhone that goes through a whole day without breaking sweat? Or will all these new shiny updates chew through the extra juice? That's something I'll be testing out in my day in the life video. So, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out when the video drops. Speaking of drops, things can get messy here. I'm not entirely convinced the iPhone 17 Pro will be as durable as its predecessors. Why, you may ask? Because Apple is ditching titanium after 2 years and going back to aluminium. Bold move, right? Good news is we'll find out soon when jerry-rig everything rips it apart. Anyway, you might be asking, but why the switch? On the surface, aluminium might feel like a downgrade, but it actually makes sense. Just hear me out. Naturally, aluminium is more thermally conducive than titanium, which means heat escapes the phone faster. Combine that with a vapor cooling chamber and the iPhone 17 Pro should be able to handle more power-hungry tasks. Think gaming, video and photo editing, or FaceTiming without your phone turning into a hand warmer. As for design, the other external changes are the camera bump, the cutout at the back, which we've already unpacked. The real question now is whether this aluminium swap is Apple's way of prioritizing performance over durability. Again, this is something we'll have to wait and see. Just like you're waiting to see if Apple finally upgrades the best storage of the iPhone 17 Pro from 128 gigs to 256 gigs. On paper, that sounds like a win. More space for your photos, your videos, and those apps you swear you'll delete but never do. But here's the catch. If you remember, the 16 Pro Max started at 256 gigs, but it also came with a price bump that had people rethinking their financial decisions. According to whispers, the 17 Pro would launch at $1049 USD, which here in Australia is about 1600 Australian dollars. Add tariffs and Apple's signature tax and you're staring closer to 1800 Australian dollars and some change. So while the storage increase might sound like Apple is doing us a favor, it could also be their built-in excuse of raising the price again. Personally, I'd love to be wrong here because deep down, I'm praying for the prices to stay the same. But with Apple, hope is one of the most expensive things. Anyway, here we are, less than 24 hours before the iPhone 17 Pro drops. We've talked about all the possible upgrades. On paper, it looks like Apple is ticking all the right boxes. But the real question is still the one we started with. Are they worthy enough for us to even care? To be honest, for the average consumer, a lot of these upgrades are a nice to have rather than a necessity. If you have an older iPhone like the 12, the 13 or a regular 14, these updates could pass. But if you've got a recent Pro model like the 14 Pro, the 15 Pro or 16 Pro, these upgrades are more iterative, which at this point is the case for most phone companies, Apple included. That's it guys, tomorrow is the big day. Let me know in the comments, are you upgrading or sitting this one out? I'll be down there reading your text while we wait for Apple to spill the details. As always, I hope you enjoyed and found this video helpful, and don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and click the notification bell to get notified whenever I post a new video. In the meantime, if you'd go for the previous Gen 16 Pro, check out this video. Until then, people of the internet, I'm signing out. See you over here.